Alright YouTube, what is going on? My name is Bigfoot and welcome back, finally, to some more Transport Fever. It's been way too long. Honestly, I really do apologise about not bringing more of this series because I missed this game so much, but just with my move and just lack of internet, it's been a challenge. But every second day you're going to see a new Transport Fever video back here on White Valley. I've already actually started planning the next series as well, which I think this series probably has about 10 to 20 more episodes left, and we're really going to go ahead and push city growth and also a lot more goods in this final a lot of episodes, a lot of refactoring as well, and then we're going to go into something really exciting which I'm actually looking forward to. It's going to be a total different challenge, but you'll find out a bit more about that pretty much in a month or so's time. Probably a bit longer than that to be fair, but I'm very much looking forward to that. So as we can see, we're doing really well. I mean, it's difficult to say how well we are doing because we've got so much going on, but I have brought in a lot more mods as well, thanks to Ethmeister, his wonderful mod list, and it is on my, there's a link on my Discord, so if you jump in my Discord, you can go ahead and get a hold of that. It's a really, really thorough, in-depth mod list, and we've got a lot of new stuff to play with. So, where did we finish in the last episode? Well, that's a very good question. We started focusing on some goods actually in and around the areas of Bangor and Hampstead, to be honest. That is what we're doing here, moving some oil around, so trying to ship more items, so that's where we're at. We're also addressing a lot of other issues though. Right now we've got a bit of a, I mean we've always had, I guess, it's an ongoing battle, just a battle with the amount of passengers at certain places. I'm also still trying to get the Sky very popular. It is doing a lot better than it once was. I think we've got every route profitable except from, yeah, only 2 that are not profitable right now, which is really, really good. So, extremely happy about that indeed. And then going forward, hopefully we can go ahead and really just get even better in the skies, to be honest. We will go ahead and continue to expand the network and see where we can take it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started today with a look at... First of all, I'll actually want to look at some of the underground stuff, which is, I know it's a bit of a chop and change, however, I do need to go ahead and do that. And I also really want to, in these final episodes as well, focus on routes that are negative, because there's some routes which are doing absolutely appalling and we really do need to address them. As we can see all the way over here, there's hardly any food being moved, so it's about just going ahead and turning a lot of unprofitable stuff into clear profit really. That's honestly what I want to see. A lot of the passenger trains are doing super well, but it's some of the goods that we really need to work on, as well as the underground. So coming back over to Hampstead here, Hampstead's an interesting city. As we can see, there's lots and lots of train movement. It's crazy the amount of train movement which is going on here actually. It does very, very busy, and as we can see, it's probably the busiest train station in the game and all for passenger numbers. I think we will need some upgrades very, very shortly indeed actually, based on the fact that there is probably, give or take, about 600 to 700 passengers waiting in that station right now, which is way too many. But if we come away from here, it's the underground I want to focus on. So, if we go ahead and we jump out, you can ish see where the underground line goes. Basically, it starts off in this top right-hand corner here. It will then make its way over to here, into the city centre, across over onto the, I guess you could say, right hands or left hand side, west side, whatever you want to call it, and it's those 5 stops. However, I believe it's down to the cars that are causing the issue, so we are going to go ahead and see if we've got any new items that we can upgrade, because in all honesty, a lot of these are relatively full actually, but it's just the cost for running 1 or 2 that is giving us issues. So if we go in here into upgrades, as I said, I brought in a lot of new engines, so we're going to go ahead and see what we've got here. Now, we could obviously go ahead and add in an actual locomotive itself. Now, it's one of these things which is hit and miss. We need a multiple units. Again, there's a lot of new stuff in here, as you can see, which is hopefully quite exciting. So currently, right now, we have the PA1. Now, it's really the running costs we need to focus on here. Running cost is way too high at £261,000 or dollars a year. Way too high. Again, looking around though, a lot of other things have very, very similar price tags, unless we lower that and we go for something like rail buses, which, again, we've got the numbers now on this route, it's just the cost of the individual units is costing us way too much. We've also got the Red Arrow we could go ahead and do, that's a bit expensive to be fair, and then we've got the, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that, it ends in Zeppelin though, that's a bit too expensive, so it's a possibility to change to the rail bus. That wouldn't be necessarily a bad thing to do. Top speed of 56, that's perfect for the underground, so we might downgrade to that. What else could we go for here? None of these super fancy modern, they're way too expensive. Then coming into other vehicles here, we've got, I think this is the subway cars for the Baku Underground possibly. I mean, I know Baku does have an underground system, or at least has a metro system. It's sort of in the process of upgrading and adding new lines to it, which is quite interesting. A lot of this stuff gets quite expensive though. I've actually got metro specific cars, but these are already starting at $500. Then we've got the Zypher here, which again starting at too much, and then we just really jump up from there quite drastically. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see anything else that great. We've also got some Class 101 DMU cars in here, which is interesting, so it's amazing how you still on the occasion will see some of these on the British Rail network. Don't even ask. Is there anything else here which is relatively cheap though? The bottom line, I believe, is no, which is really unfortunate. So again, we're moving into more modern stuff now, which is going to be way too expensive. Yeah, okay, right, so what we're going to do is we're going to give this a go, because I still want the underground to continue to work. We are going to jump down to the rail buses actually and see how these do. So with regards to actual cost, it's about half the cost, running cost, and I mean, it's not too much difference in performance at all, I feel. So we're going to go to on, and we're going to go on to replace now, and then I'm actually going to make these changes in Hessen while we're at this simultaneously. So let's come down the line, and we arrive in here at the wonderful city of Hessen. In general, how's the underground doing here? I mean, it's hit and miss. I mean, for example, you've got... Oh, I got major trolled there. Major trolled. It was the bus stop, not the underground stop. Okay, I don't think it's doing too great, in all honesty, but it is serving the airport, and that's where I want it to succeed. If we actually go ahead and view this mode, which makes a lot better sense to go ahead and visualise the actual underground track. At some stops there's a wee bit of waiting, but honestly not a lot. That's why we're going to go ahead and also downgrade these vehicles, just so we can go ahead and, you know, make life a little bit easier for ourselves. Oh, these are diesel things. Well, I mean, understandable. It is back from the year 1950. So let's go ahead and make the change now and replace. And this is the last thing I'll do with the underground, because honestly, until they actually come out with like proper underground DLC, then I don't think this is going to happen. Arguably, yes, I do have trams competing against the underground, so it's sort of, I'm trying to make two different things work, and it's not really working, to be honest. But that kind of makes sense, in all honesty. Anyway, okay, let's get the upgrades on all of those, and then we can just go ahead and get rid of all that for now. So that's a good start, quite happy with that, we'll see how that goes. Let's turn our attention to the planes now, because as I said, there's two routes, and only two routes, which are negative. But there are some which are doing extremely well. We filter by balance here. Well, it looks like right now we're only at one negative route, which is great. Let's actually flip things on its head and let's look at the HB to Kendal, which is doing super well. It doesn't need any plane work, I don't think, anyway. Though let's go to this end, the Kendal Exchange, because 14 people waiting here. We do have a lot more aircraft in this game as well as trams. That's why I'm basically just doing a bit of refactoring now to sort of get used to some of the new vehicles which I've got in this series. So we've got a lot of stuff which I would never use, for example. Going back to stuff like the Junkers, we've got this which seems quite interesting actually. Let's just have a look at what we're currently flying though. We do have some massive planes in here. So right now we're using a variety of different planes. We're using this Boeing 737, which is extremely nice. It's doing probably our more higher capacity routes. Then we're also flying with these planes here. Note that the Boeing costs about $1 million a year. Then we've got these smaller planes, which are the DHC-7s. It's like Douglas something something 7s, which have got a nice painting on them. So they're about $450 a year. And then we've also got the British Airways, pretty much same equivalent as well, the DHC-7, which are flying on our routes. And then I think we've just got, yeah, we've got different skins. So it's mainly the DHC-7, and then we've also got the Boeing 737s. Rated at about $1 million to about, give or take, 450,000. So what else have we got in here? That's the real question. Well, it is a good one, and I'm actually curious to see myself, because I literally went on the mod list that ETHmeister gave me and started just adding stuff. I was like, oh, that'll be interesting. Guessing we've got some Airbuses in here now, which is quite interesting. We've also got a Boeing 747. How epic would that be to get into the game? I mean, I really need some crazy demand for that, which right now I don't have. But that's where also the next series could come in, but I'll leave it at that for now. So it looks like we've got much larger capacity planes, which is understandable. We've got big Airbus, I was about to say A, and then Airbus at the same time. Airbus 320s, which is not too bad, but it's probably a bit much. What about Airbus? Yeah, these are all just different versions, and we've got more Airbuses here, which we aren't using. Boeing 747s again. More Airbuses. They've got actually a 757, which again we need a real upgrade for, but we're actually looking for more smaller planes in all honesty. So we've got the Yak, the good old Yak. We are maybe actually still using that on one route here, and to be honest, I'm tempted to downgrade our non-profitable route to that. You're flying, yeah, you're flying a bit too sophisticated planes, so what we're gonna do is, the Yak's actually more expensive. Never realised that. Okay, that's not good, so we're not going to downgrade to that. We could go all the way down to something like this. This is built in 1937 though, and its speed is not going to be really compared at all to what we're currently flying right now. Even with the Yak, there's quite a big speed difference, it's about half. So I think we're just going to have to leave the planes for now in all honesty and really just play off the demand and see where they go to. Got lots of cargo planes as well, but that's never, I mean, if you can't get passengers to be profitable in the sky, then you're not going to get cargo to be profitable in the sky. I can pretty much guarantee that already. Okay, so let's come away from this now and let's go ahead and actually address some issues which we've got ongoing. So let's jump over here and see what we have. So we need to ship more goods. So let's go ahead and check out this whole chain of commands and see what's going on here. So first of all, this is the oil refinery, and we must be getting oil from over at this oil well here. Right now we're moving stuff by truck, so I can understand why that isn't going too well, though I don't want to necessarily upgrade to anything else just yet. This place is only at 80 production, so it's mightily low, though we are getting trucks coming in at a good enough frequency, so it's not like I need to add on any more trucks. That truck there left with 2 oil. It's the demand end we need to work on. So, coming back over to here, we've obviously got trucks then leaving the oil refinery, and they're coming into the town here of Bawtry, which is exciting. So, and it's going up to one of the depots over here, and then on to one of the depots there. So, are we meeting the town's requirements? Ish yes, ish no. I think we could do with another drop off here, but that's quite easy to do. I don't actually have to add in a custom base. What I'll do is I'll just add in a bus stop. It's sort of a cheat way. And then we can go ahead and alter that route to go ahead and, I guess I've remembered a few tips from before, so we're going to go for fuel Bawtry. Instead of me having to navigate through all the menus and search for the line, I can just go back to its source and get the line accessed. So after bus stop number, or after stop 1 should I say, we're now going to stop here as well at To The Drive. So hopefully that makes some difference, though again it's not a guarantee. But I think we also need to have another output as well, probably into the town of Hampstead. Though does Hampstead already have oil? No, it doesn't. So this is a real big market which we can tap into, and we're going to go ahead and create another road. You're not going to share the same road. We're going to go ahead and put you vehicles onto a different road. I don't know why I've dual carriaged this the whole way. I don't know what I was planning, but we've dual carriaged this whole road a lot, which was a bit much. I understand it to here, because there's public and other cars using it, but I feel we should downgrade this and just make it a bit more realistic. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's zoom out so we can do much more of this at once. And there we go, that's a bit better. Just makes it a bit more realistic as well, because the only vehicles that are ever going to use this road are my own. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're pretty much just going to... I don't want to build a tunnel here, but what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to delete this road because it's a bit redundant. I think that we probably altered this when we built the airport and we just never deleted it, so that's understandable. What we're going to do is we're just going to have a road here which comes across the plains pretty much. It's just going to jump around here and it's going to provide us access into the town of Hampstead quite easily. Now Hampstead's an interesting one though, and I'm not looking forward to getting trucks to navigate through this town without causing issues, because there are going to be a lot of issues. I also need to build some more roads connecting up the east and west, because right now I've only got 2 roads which cross over the railway, so traffic gets held up. I mean, that's another reason for the underground, to be honest. It makes things simpler travelling from east to west, because there is a bit of divide in the town. What we're going to do now though is have a look and see that, okay, we need to basically move goods down to the bottom here, and thinking of that, we already have good stuff here, which makes sense. But I need to pretty much need to get trucks down here quite easily without causing too much of an issue, which is going to be something that is going to be a challenge. Autosaves at the worst time, so let's go ahead and see what we can do here. They could just pile through the town, which I don't want, so what we're going to do instead is we're actually going to build an additional road, and it's basically going to come round the mountainside. Now I realise that houses will eventually be built upon this, but hopefully we can avoid that for the time being. Let's connect that into there, and let's keep this going round here. I don't mind an individual tunnel. A tunnel is not a bad thing. And then when we get to here, we're going to cross over the... That's what I want to do there, but obviously we have a bit of an issue here with the railway tracks. So what we do is if we go to there, then what I want to do is I want to build a bridge like that, however, terrain collision. But if we raise it up a tiny bit like that, build that, and that's the problem-ish solved, and then we'll have you run down into there. And then what we can do is also install a back road. Well, it's not a back road, this is going to be a city road, I suppose. Let's go ahead and create that there. Let's have that actually level on the playing field, thank you. And let's have that run in over to there. So that's realistically the route the truck should use. If they don't use it, then I'll force them to use it, because if we go into and through the town, it's just going to lead to a right old mess, to be honest. Outside of that, is there only one actual goods depot in the town? No, there's another one over here as well. So actually it might make sense for it to go over the railway. So this road might have been redundant, but at least it's an alternative option for commuters now. Let's join that up with there, and let's go ahead and get this route built. So that's, I mean, it's so strange building my first line in forever. So it's going to go from here at Hampstead Truck Station #1. You're then going to come via... We could actually make this 2 different routes, and I think I might do that, to be honest, because I'm expecting quite a lot of demand from this town, plus evidently it's not working out too great over in Bawtry with having multiple stops, so again it might be worth breaking that up. Okay, so let's go ahead and name this. This is G, this is going to be Hampstead, and this is going to be Fuel, and this is going to be route number 1 of 2. So that works there. It looks like it's taking a different inroad than outroad, which is odd, but there's not a lot of traffic at this part of town, so I will allow for that. Then let's go ahead and add in a second truck route, which runs from Hampstead Central up to here, and it doesn't use the bypass, but I'm going to force it to use the bypass. We'll add in some waypoints. So this is going to be G, this is going to be Hampstead, Fuel, and 2, which is perfect. Let me go ahead and very quickly just add in these waypoints. If we go into roads and we go into waypoints, let's go ahead and add these 2 waypoints here. So after Central, what will happen is you'll stop at that one, and then after going and collecting the goods, you'll come back to that one. Oh, this game sometimes, honestly. Right, okay, so let's keep that editing going, and let's go ahead and add in... Dun dun dun. Oh, where are we now? We're in this menu here. Okay. I mean, this also gives me the indication though that this should be a railway line. But again, I feel maybe not. We'll see for now anyway. Right, so after Central then we're going to jump into there. So now you're going to reroute via there, which is perfect. And then after 3 you come into there, which is wonderful. So that's that problem solved, and it means we can get going. We have a truck depot over here already, which is good to see. So let's go ahead and get some more trucks onto it. If we could open up the menu, please. There we go. Thank you. Right, okay, so freight-wise, looks like right now we have... These are Volvo trucks, I remember that. F12 rings a bell. So, are they Volvo or are they Scania? They are the Scania trucks, I think, actually. Yeah, they are. So they're the Scania tankers. I'm guessing they're the best. Again, I have added some more stuff in. These Scania can... well, they have a capacity of 36. So what I'm thinking honestly is going for that. So let's go ahead and move fuel this way. I'm going to default put it to fuel. So let's do, and let's just go ahead and make some of these in pink. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which works perfectly. And that's going to go onto the G Hampstead Fuel 2. And then the G Hampstead Fuel 1 looks like a dark blue. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Which will then go on the... That's a slightly incorrect blue, but it will do, and that adds so much more trucks into the area. So that now really should hopefully increase the demand going on over here. Trucks that are bringing stuff in, I don't think there has been much raise as of yet, but again, this sort of stuff will take time. We're starting to see, at least it's gone over 100, and hopefully it should really start to kick in now, and we should actually start to get a lot of these trucks, I guess, going from here much more fuller, because leaving with only 2 or 3 of the capacity out of 36 is pathetic, to be honest. Okay, so with that done, that's going to go ahead and make a difference, which is good, so we'll come back to all of this later down the line. What we're going to do is we are going to have to, unfortunately, address some overcrowding issues, because it's evident that we need to go ahead and really, I guess, do a bit more work in a few places. I also feel we could do with a new tram, or definitely a tram upgrade here, couldn't we? Let's go ahead and have a look at the trams, because we do have quite a few new trams as well, which is also quite exciting. Okay, so this is the one tram route we have here in the town of... Assuming we have one. Yeah, we definitely need to add another, because we can have another on the other side of the tracks now. Which is also crazy that it's only this small road here connects up the two sides. So again, I feel I need to work on the integration of towns a lot better, now looking back at it. Right, okay, where are we? So we are in the town of Bawtree. No, we're in the town of Bangor. How have I been getting that mixed up? So, I mean, we are running Citadises, I just don't think we're running enough Citadis trams, so let's go ahead and deal with that now. Where is our tram depot? It's all the way down here. I remember when I built this ring road, actually, it was a long ass time ago. But as we can see here, we've got some steam trams. I was looking through the mod list Ethmeister compiled, and I thought, oh, that sounds really interesting. Not that I don't think we'll ever use it, but it's there. Also got a lot of Vienna trams. If you do not know, Vienna has got the longest amount of tram infrastructure in terms of line length or track amount in the world. That fact was valid from about 5 years ago, so I don't know if things have changed. I don't know if China's taken over or something, because I know their infrastructure projects, some of them are absolutely crazy in size. But what we're going to do is we're going to double the fleet here in Bangor, which is good. So they're going to roll out, which is quite exciting, and then hopefully that will make some difference, though again, time will tell. Then looking at actually the actual trains, Bangor to Spalding is still quite high. I've got a feeling we've got to maybe split this line up. I mean, let's just look at Southgate, for example. It's crazily busy, like too busy, where to the stage we do need to split this up, because there's obviously different demand on different sections. Spalding itself's doing not too bad. It's got like an average amount of people waiting, which you'd expect. However, I think we need to go ahead and make changes there and split the line up in two, to be honest, because it's too much. So the first thing is, how many trains have we got on this line? That's the real question. I'm not actually going to be able to see it from this menu, so if we jump into our line manager and enter in trains, T, Bangor, there we go, perfect. So we've actually got, what, 5 trains on here, and some of them are already doubled up, so that just tells you, I guess, the extent to the problems which we have here. So yeah, let's go ahead and break this down. So what are we going to do? We're going to need to go ahead and make some additional changes to the infrastructure here. So it looks like we already have a junction in here, which is good. So that means that'll come into this platform, and then all we need to do is we need to add another one here. Am I right in saying I've done that right? I've got a feeling I've done it wrong. No. So they're going to come into this platform, so we need to move trains that come from Spalding onto the other platform, like so. And then what we'll do is we will add in another signal about there, which is perfect. So that means then we can go ahead and get trains to stop as they come in there, and they'll go into that platform. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is actually go ahead and arrange for the line to be broken up. So starting at Southgate and coming into Spalding, so this is the T, Southgate is first. Yeah. I'm trying to remember my alphabet off the top of my head here, and I really should know that. Spalding, so that's good to go. So now what we need to do is make this small change here of removing just Banger to the town of Southgate, removing Spalding and then Southgate, which this is going to cause some issues, so I can already read them. So we've got 2 trains which are cut off here. Whereabouts are you located? You're located... no electrical path. That's false. That is a poor error message. You've got no routing path is what you've got. You do have electricity, but what you're going to be is you're going to be transferred onto the new line, which is going to be the, not Bawtry to Chorley. We are Southgate to Spalding, which is perfect, and I'm assuming you've got the same error for the same reason. Okay, maybe not. You should now be fine. There we go, perfect. Right, so that's on the move now. So 2 of those trains have changed over, which is good. And now that means we've also made changes up here. Let's just double check that this train station is working correctly, which it looks like it's not, which is kind of alarming. Yeah, something's wrong here. I think I know what the issue is that that should be on the other platform like so, and that works out there. So that should relieve the train waiting here once that clears the other signal. And then we're good to go, which is perfect. So I am interested to see what additional trains I might need to add. If we come out of this view here, and we go ahead and Banger to Bawtry we don't need to care about right now. Actually, you know what? This is, let's just type in Spall. Okay, that's not good. Southgate. So the Southgate, why am I not finding anything? Right, you know, we've got 2 trains on there, which is good. We've got one which is doubled up, which I don't like. So we're going to go ahead and change this very quickly. What I want to do is, I'm quite happy to keep on with the electrical trains, the Stadler Flirts. However, I just want single locomotives or single trains. I don't want any doubles. So that's going to make a change there, which is good. And then with regards to, this is not sorted by name, that's the problem. There we go, much better. Right, okay, so now I'm looking for the Banger to, I actually need to rename it. Banger to Spalding is what I'm looking for. Banger to Spalding, here we are. So this is now going to be the Banger to, no, you are the Banger to, no, Banger to Southgate. Which is easy enough change to make, so that's a bit more accurate. So you've got 3 trains on you and they're all doubles, so they can carry 450 passengers each. Honestly, I might leave that right now because I think that's where the majority of the demand is. Though, looking here, yeah, it is the majority of the demand. That train's leaving with only 70 people on it, for example, so I think we could be okay there. Coming down to this end, we do have a lot of people waiting, so we might need to add in a 3rd train there, but we'll keep an eye on that as the series goes on. While we're here as well, I think we need to upgrade these trains, the Newton to Spalding line. Though maybe not, I think that train will be okay. So yeah, we'll just keep an eye on it. We need to badly go ahead and work on some trams in this area, so let's go ahead and do that now. Starting off with Spalding specifically, it is really bad, and then we'll go back down the line to Banger in a second. So what have we got so far with trams? Not a lot, not a great deal. If we filter by trams, we can see that this is the tram here. It's the most pathetic small line ever. So if we come out of this menu and jump back into here, this is the TR for Southgate. So I can imagine this probably hasn't been touched in a long time. If it has, then I've done a really bad job. Let's check this out here. So, doing extremely well, but it's not really doing great, to be honest. It needs to serve the town a bit better, I feel. So instead of maybe going off to Queen's Road now, it's going to come down into the, I guess, heart of the town. That's what it really needs to do. And I'm also going to change this brown to just a darker shade, just so I can see it a bit more visibly. Okay, so with that done now, let's go ahead and actually implement our desired changes. So bus lanes, yes, tram electric, and let's select the upgrade wands. And what we're going to do is, I think we're going to drive it down here, which brings us into the heart of the town. Then what I want to do is come up one of these roads, but I realise it's going to cause me to delete a lot of stuff, which isn't great. Now we're on a slope as well here, which isn't good, so, and I can't seem to do anything, so I'm gonna do the really bad practice of deleting this whole square. That is really bad, I know. But I think things will grow back quite quickly, if that makes much sense. So we'll go ahead. There's too much slope. Is there too much slope? I really don't think there is too much slope, in all honesty. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete that bit there as well, and delete that road and that bit there. Then what I want to do is we're going to delete this here, delete that bit there, and then we're going to try and flatten all this out. I'm hoping that buildings will rebuild here, because now we're going to have a station over here. It kind of defeats the purpose now that we just went ahead and did all that demolition for nothing, because there's nothing here, but hopefully things will work themselves out at a later stage. So I really don't want a road at that angle, to be honest. I want a road like that, and then I want another road coming down there. Well, I don't actually want it to extend that much, to be honest. So what we're going to do is we're going to create ourselves a square here, like so, and then we'll go ahead and add in just a normal road from there to there, which connects up wonderfully. Okay, so you can see our expansion plan now, quite obviously. So now I'm going to go ahead and add in some stops. We'll add a stop at that side and a stop at that side. Then coming up through the town here, we'll do a stop here, because I think that could get a lot of people. Then we're coming back into the dense city, which I think that should do the trick. So, not too much of a change here, but I think it should do the trick. So let's get rid of Queen's Road, and then after 13, we're now going to come down here. Don't worry, we are going to add in more trams here, and we're also going to build a second line at the other side of the town as well, but that's probably going to run into the next episode. So as we can see, that is that sorted, but I think we need to actually alter the trams. So first of all, I think the trams could probably do with, maybe not size expansion actually, I think we just need more of them. So let me go ahead and buy trams, and let's go ahead and see what we can do. Again, the Cobras might no longer be the most efficient and cheapest tram to actually run here, so that's something which I think we need to keep in mind going forward. Let's go ahead and at least double the fleet here, and let's go ahead and stick these out onto the TR Southgate, which is perfect, and that's now gone ahead and doubled the fleet, so hopefully that should make some difference as well. Part of town has been nearly connected up, so I'm expecting, for example, this stop to do very well and this stop to do very well. Not at all sure about the turning circle, because I destroyed the whole turning circle, but we'll ignore that fact. And then of course coming along here as well, we should be doing relatively good too. Then, how are we getting on with this then? Wow, really, a lot more people are wanting to go to Spalding than I ever would have thought, to be honest. Again, a train has just pulled in, and I'm mainly playing the game on ×1 speed now, so not necessarily getting a lot of instant feedback. It's taking a while for stuff to happen, so that is lots of people transferred. I guess a lot of people are just going to transfer, get off this train coming in from Spalding, for example, and then get onto the one that goes to Bangor. But I do think we definitely need another train or two on there, because that train's left full. And then down this end, we've got quite a lot of people waiting here. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and introduce, if we go into electrical here, we're going to introduce 2 additional Stadler flirts, I think, because that should hopefully go ahead and resolve the overcrowding issues which you seem to have. So let's go ahead and put those onto there, and that should solve our issues for now. Anyway, so that's done, the tram's done. Again, we're going to have to add in a tram to the top of the town. We'll do that in the next episode, and we'll also do some tram work probably in Bangor as well. I feel it could do with a bit, but I want to come back to here and see how things are getting on. So, we seem to be producing a little bit more, but it's honestly not a lot more. Then things haven't really changed too much. What I'll do is I'll speed up the game to ×3. Does affect the frame rate a little bit. Not too badly though, and then we'll see how things get on, if that really makes a major increase. If we come over into the town of Hampstead and have a look here, we can see that we're providing the town of 2% of its fuel capacity, so honestly not a lot. I did notice though down here, I think we can move a lot more stuff back up the line to Hampstead right now and get rid of a lot of this backlog. Though in saying that, it has cleared relatively well. But that train must be near enough full, and it near enough is full, which is great to see as well. So we must be doing very well here right now. The amount of wood we're moving though is crazy, to be honest. At least it's cut back now, but I had to add on a 3rd train from this station here, Hampstead West, just to over here. There's 3 trains on that small section of track, just because I had At one stage when I loaded up this save before I started recording this video, over 1,000 logs waiting here. It was just absolutely crazy. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we've only done a very small, extremely small piece of work in this episode, but there's so much more to do and I can't wait to really delve into this map a lot more. So, hope you have enjoyed the return of Transport Fever. Please leave a like, rate and subscribe if you are new around here. Share this video with a friend, and giving it a like rating really helps grow the channel, and I really want to get this channel back to the stage where it's moving positive again. I am looking forward to the future with this channel, and so should you. Check out my Twitter, my Patreon, and my Discord, links are in the description below, and that's all, ladies and gentlemen. So, thank you very much for watching. My name is Bigfoot, and I'm out.